we have an absolute starter in our all-star lineup, which is exposure therapy. It has to be there when overcoming anxiety, depression, because it's facing your fears, your trauma, and it is the best way to get rid of it. The issue is it takes persistence. Now, for example, when I was petrified of leaving my house, for instance, during COVID, we were going to Cornwall, 5-hour journey for me. And now I was petrified for this. We got into the car. I was constantly saying to myself, I'm fine, I'm safe, I'm fine. I could feel my hands sweating, my heart. I was ready to panic at any minute. And it was with absolute consciousness that I put this off the whole journey. I was petrified. But I got through the journey, really enjoyed the trip, and then we came back. When I got back, I felt absolutely fearless. I thought, there's nothing to be scared of. I can do this every single day. And then when I got in my car, I could drive 30-minute journeys and feel all right. But the issue is, so I pushed the boat out then. The boat got fully pushed out. But with anxiety and depression, things like that, when you don't keep pushing and pushing and pushing, the boat comes back. So you've got to keep manually pushing that boat out. And the key with exposure therapy is speed and repetitiveness. You've got to be persistent and you've got to be quick. So for instance, the reason why I was able to get over driving long distances and not being scared of it anymore was because, firstly, I made sure I drove to a city every single weekend. Take my girlfriend and be like, listen, we're going here, be a great day, and I'd make sure I'm always driving because I want to get over it. But it took about a year of me driving 30 minutes to work, there and 30 minutes back, every single day for me to eventually get over it. A year. Now give it a few months and I was still nervous. And I was thinking, I've been driving for months now, months, 30-minute journeys, all this time, and I'm still feeling a bit worried. But I refused to give up. I still kept going, and I was like, well, I'm not going to not go to work because of this. So I kept going and kept going. And I keep saying to myself, look, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, I'm calm, I'm fine. And eventually, after that year, I got into my car, I drove to work, and not once did I think about being scared or nervous. It was just looking around, enjoying the views, and I was happy. What you'll find is if you're not quick and you're not repetitive, those boats that you've pushed out, you spent all this time pushing out, all this work will come in, and you'll find that task that you thought you got over, you'll be scared of again. So you've got to push the boat out, and then if you want to go further than that, you push it some more. You want to go further, you push it some more. This is why when you see people climbing Mount Everest and doing things, conquering their fears, you think they just started off like that. They started off with a run, a jog, climbing a hill, climbing a bigger hill, then going to a small mountain, a big mountain, and then to Mount Everest. They built themselves up there. They kept doing it, kept doing it. They didn't just go from one point to the other. There's always a journey of growth. There's steps. So you've got to keep going step 1, step 2, step 3. Now, the issue is with exposure therapy. If you do go from, say, your bedroom to climbing Mount Everest, you'll find that you're really out of your depth. These steps, there's a reason why you do them. You learn things, you learn your boundaries, you push yourself, your brain and mind are able to operate in these stressful situations and get prone to them. Now, if you don't do them and you just skip straight to Mount Everest, all of a sudden you become overwhelmed and you panic. Now, this is very, very bad because what you want to do is push the boat out a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. So it's under control. You feel anxious, you've brought the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is you're suffering from, you've brought it up, it's come out, but you're able to control it. It's a level where you can control. If you push the boat right out and all of a sudden you find you're overwhelmed and you start panicking and you can't control this panic, now that suddenly becomes a bad memory, and it becomes a bad memory that you've got to do EMDR therapy to get over. You've got to do something to dissociate the emotions with the trauma with, and that's a bigger problem. So please, please, please make sure you're very, very careful how you do this. For instance, with me, again, I'll go back to the driving situation. I drove 30 minutes, perfect. Drove an hour, perfect. 2 hours, perfect. And then this year I drove to Wales, 4 hours away. Now, if I tried to do that when I was just after COVID and I was the driver, not a chance. It's done. I'm panicking. That is over. So that's why you've got to be very careful about this. But another reason why exposure therapy is so important, let's bring up, for instance, Bruce Wayne. Now, he's a fictional character, but it's very true in what he's done. And there's millions of people that have done this in reality. They've made their fear become their strength. They've become it. So Bruce Wayne was petrified of bats. So he became the Batman. He became that. He turned his weakness into his strength. Now, if he stops at becoming the Batman and gave it like 10, 20 years, you might find that fear of bats would start creeping in. But when you're constantly exposed to it and you're doing it every single day, the fear completely goes. So they might be scared of flying to become a pilot. They might be scared of driving to become a taxi service. Like any of these things, they become the thing and make sure they do it every single day. And that's how the fear goes. So if you're here and your fear is something that's causing some kind of bad experience for you and it is public speaking, it is going into a crowd, then make sure you do it frequently. Do it a lot. That first moment, that first time, you'll be petrified. You will feel anxious, you will feel horrible. But use all the techniques you've learned on this course to calm you down, the breathing work, the Foster-based questioning, all of these different things, use them to prevent that panic attack. And what you'll find is, for instance, when I was going to meet my girlfriend in London, I'd get on the train, I'd be shitting myself, petrified, going to London. It's far away from home, I'm scared. I'd go there, sleep there, still be scared. On the way back, I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, thank God, I'm getting back now. Like, that was scary. I'm not going to do that again. I'd get in my car, back home, dad would pick me up, I'd go to my house. And I'm like, actually, that wasn't that hard. And then I'll find the next day, I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to push myself again. And when I did allow myself to push myself, like, actually, that's not too bad. And it would get easier, and it would get easier, and it would get easier. So get this big fucking rock that's your fear and chip away at it and keep chipping. Now this rock grows back, so make sure you chip it right down to the last fucking piece. And then you'll get over it. Expose yourself to the fear quickly and frequently. And these are two things you've got to do. Speed and repetitiveness is vital.